Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de why, in my opinion, it is totally not worth it to go to the movies, at least in the theater form, in this day and age. And who knows, maybe I'll change my tune when new technology comes out. But in the mid-2020s, I mean, come on, I don't think this argument is going to be remotely close. Hey, Zempak here. Today's rant cometh via a conversation I had with my wifey, of course, again. She was basically lamenting that there are barely any movies that she wants to go see in the theaters, and I was like, oh, you think you're down on going to the movies? Out of the two of us, I mean, because the only time I have gone in the last handful of years was already because my wifey wanted to go, and I just do whatever she wants to keep her happy, because wifey happiness equals my happiness by extension. But actually going to the movies of my own accord with their $10 popcorn? No, thank you. I'd prefer to drink all my calories in adult drink, please. Not eat buttered paper feeling kind of nothingness, okay? Now, can you tell that I do not like movie popcorn yet? Yes. I know I am in the minority on that one, but it's probably because I didn't grow up with it. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. If you enjoy some random rants from a dude with clearly no production skills whatsoever, like, subscribe, share, comment, or whatever. I'll be great regardless, because I just do these for funsies. Hit that bell icon. I don't know what that is, but I hear other people asking for it, so I'm asking for it. Therefore, being a casual hypocrite about a minor internet detail. Okay, my first reason, it's simply cost. Okay, let's be clear. Everything in a movie theater besides the ticket itself is a total ripoff. You are trapped in a space where you're paying like 5x for snacks. That's at best. And these days, is it just me, or movie theaters are also doubling as very aggressively mediocre restaurants as well? I mean, I get it. It was mildly novel to be able to get table service and get some food and wine that are not just sugar bombs. I have done it, and I liked it the first maybe once or twice, but then I realized that I'm just getting massively overcharged for very mediocre pizza or whatever random foods that doesn't actually require a real kitchen to make. So yeah, I'm getting reheated frozen pizza probably, and no one can complain it's bad per se, because, you know, it's not meant to be memorable whatsoever, right? Think about it. Have you ever heard anyone say the following? Hey, you know that movie that we saw last night? That was okay, but do you remember the margarita pizza though? That shit was cooked. Yeah, no. Now, if I want to eat while I watch something, and oftentimes I do, doing so in my own living room, it's just a much easier proposition. And as a bonus, it's probably just as easy to make your own frozen pizza at home, okay? At much lower cost, obviously. There's no contest in this comparison, I don't think. But the second biggest reason I feel like is really more important, and that's the lack of exclusivity, or the feeling of which, right? Now, I'm talking about lack of buzz and feeling of exclusivity for having, you know, being the person to have seen the latest and greatest for a while, okay? Now, I have to date myself here by admitting that I recall personally that back in the days when I was a kid, a new blockbuster movie might take 6 months to get to a rental store, another 6 months to get on a premium cable channel, and who knows how long to get on a regular TV. Probably at least around a year and a half, maybe 2? But these days, if a movie comes out this summer, it will be on a streaming service, I don't know, by fall, okay? So if you missed it in the theaters, it's really not that big of a deal, okay? Again, I have to compare the movie experience in general to the home theater experience, okay? We just have, almost everybody is selling giant TVs for very cheap, okay? So even with relatively, you can even get like relatively easily reproducible surround sound at home. So you just don't, you know, need really nerdy audiophile friends to even get something like that. Is that 100% accurate? Of course. But I think 90% accurate home theater in terms of a big screen and surround sound, that's good enough, right? Considering you get to sit in your own couch, which again is definitely 10 times more comfortable than any movie theater seats, right? I especially feel this way about really any movies that does not have special effects. Like, seriously, why would I need to watch a regular person drama or thriller or even horror on a giant movie screen, right? It just doesn't add anything extra for non-larger-than-life type of screenings, I think. Now, my final point, of course, I like, you gotta have pluses and minuses of every argument, right? So I'll talk about the exceptions to this rule where I think it's not really worth it to go to the theaters. There are some, but I think there are few, right? It boils down to, well, I think, mostly special effects heavy movies like, Avengers, superhero movies, that kind of stuff. I'm sad to say that, but I admit it. I will pony up for a theater run for that type of stuff, or anything really like 3D effects, right? Surprisingly, 3D TV has never really taken off. It was all the rage a couple of years ago, but nowadays you can barely find it on sale. So big budget special effects or 3D comes in hand in hand usually, though. So for me personally, this basically just boils down to like, is Marvel having one of their face-ender movies this year? If not, why would I even bother to go see it? Okay. There is another group of exceptions, which is the occasional indie darling or foreign flicks that's on the verge of blowing up. I even had to put that caveat in there because if it's an indie-ish film that does end up blowing up, like suddenly it's part of the cultural zeitgeist and people see it, like example would be Everything Everywhere All at Once from like a couple of years ago. Because when it blows up, then a big distributor will pick it up and it will easily find a home on streaming, okay, easily accessible streaming, okay, just like any other blockbuster. However, if you're into like really smaller, like tiny foreign films, well, that's the only type of human drama I would go to the movies for, because if you missed it in the theaters, well, it will be much harder to find later on in its life cycle. I mean, I think it can all be done, but if I'm ignoring pirating, then it's harder, that's all. So, in conclusion, to be honest, I'm just surprised who is even supporting going to the movies right now, since, so many types of movies, in my opinion, like rom-coms, adult dramas, horrors, basically all of these genres, loses nothing when compared to being viewed in your own living room, right? You'd be more comfortable, you have better food, and it's much more cost efficient. I mean, sure, I shell out, like I said, for that occasional big Marvel or DC movie, but that's like once every 2 years, so who's going to the movies? As I was saying this, I realized that I forgot about, of course, a big demographic, and that's children. That's probably it. Little kids will complain they don't get to see the latest Disney or whatever, right? Is that it? Probably, that makes sense. Parents can't really wait to let a movie theater shut their kids up for a couple of hours, so that's true, that segment exists, I guess. So movie theaters, I'm glad they're hanging on for dear life, especially in the post-COVID world. I mean, I want them to be around so that I can go occasionally. I just don't care enough to support them actively or consistently. Am I off my rockers? Feel free to yell at me below. Until next time, cheers. À la prochaine.